It's crack-a-lack and welcome to another edition of X Feed. X Feed. That's right. We're on the timeline reading your thoughts and going over the craziest news in the space. Now, as a friendly reminder, if you think, hey, my idea is kind of cool, well, just know absolutely somebody else has that, and they are going to try to do their variation of that. Now, with that being said, reason why I'm bringing it up is because Bet NFT, it's one of the ones that is doing kind of a Zed-run type deal, digital greyhound racing, and during the massive Zed FUD the other day, they were on the timeline saying, hey, we're trying to correct what Zed-run had wrong. Come join us. And it's funny to think about, similar to like the early stages of some of the different collections that came out after Bored Apes. A lot of things just kind of covered and followed the same aspect. Obviously, there's ones with the technical capabilities and something that's involved with the game like that. But again, no idea is safe. Treverse here, showing a little bit of their teaser, monthly update, just an image, you know, not trying to get you overly hyped, but it does look kind of cool. At first glance, this feels almost like the original variation of Guild of Guardians. If you guys have seen that, they changed the gameplay completely, but I think Treverse looks substantially cleaner. Very curious to see the success of it, because I think it's one of the games aesthetically that will definitely make an impact. Don't fade pudgy gaming. So I saw this post and I was like, what in the halibut does that mean? Well, apparently, they are coming out with an esports team, which is kind of cool. But at the same time, does that mean that somebody else is going to take that idea to do it? That's the question. Now the metaverse. We continue going on with everybody trying to do one. Edison metaverse this time around, using M squared. I'm better at basketball in real life, but I managed to score 500 points on my 4th attempt, says AE. Quick little footage of the gameplay here. Seems that every 2-ish weeks they have play test opportunity for you. Just interesting to note the vast stylistic differences between these different metaverses. I think it looks pretty all right. And if you're wanting to check that out, again, it's at Edison Metaverse. Way to go, Immersive Circle and MasterCard. You're going to kill it in Europe, says Money GCC. Proud to exclusively support Circle, regulated and compliant products on our platform. Now, we're going to get into some more details on this, but Circle did announce a pretty massive deal with USDC, but stay tuned for more details on this. So Baron Von Hustle posted this saying, are you this old? Way back in the day. Yo, Gio, what's going on? Schiller, great to see you chatted up with Kid Arcade. Hell yeah, brother. Thanks for watching that. It was fun. It's really weird being like the interviewee when you're normally the interviewer, if you know what I mean. Yo, RDL. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me a Bored Ape and some Cracker Jacks. I don't care if we ever get back and we look at the history, and we remember it was a game, and we used to have spaces all the time at the old Twitter space. There we go. That was my attempt at doing the Blue Jays 7-inning stretch. Anywho, just kind of a reflection here. A whole bunch of apes way back in the day, we used to hold spaces talking about things that were going on with Yuga. And it's weird to think when you look back at the, what's the right term here? The notion, the excitement about things. And now we have like, okay, now we know what all of that was. And some people are still massively hyped out about certain things. And I don't know if any of the people that were in this, like Baron's still doing stuff, but I don't know how many of the others, I mean, Captain Trippy is as well, are continuing to do different things with apes, but it just kind of shows, hey, we can be super passionate about something and then change, but it was a really cool reflection back there. So the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission made this comment regarding Consensus, and we have some massive news coming out of Consensus as well. By allegedly collecting hundreds of millions of dollars in fees as an unregistered broker broker and engaging in the unregistered offer and sale of tens of thousands of securities. And they're talking about like the company behind Metamask. Consensus inserted itself squarely into the U.S. securities market while depriving investors of the protections afforded by the federal securities laws. As this enforcement action shows, we continue to hold non-compliant actors in the space accountable as we do across the securities market. And so this was just in reference to MetaMask allowing you to do swaps and stake within their wallet. We'll see what evidently comes of it. Now, I got a question for you. Do you like video games? I mean, there's some ones in the past you absolutely love, but what about current ones? What about ones that you're like, yeah, you know, I want to play this every day. I feel like there is a huge lack of substance of games that people really like. I know Elden Ring, the DLC was super huge, and I was watching some streams on it, and that honestly, like, I think I'd watched it for like 2 days straight. And anytime I had free time, that's like all I did. And I was like, okay, like that's it. I don't know. There's nothing really else. I don't really feel like playing any of these games, yada, yada. However, Steam right now has an insane summer sale going on. Portal 2 is $1, Undertale $2.50, Celeste is $2, and Civilization 6 is $3. Guys, they're literally just giving out games, and we're out here in the blockchain space paying hundreds of thousands of dollars hoping that we're going to have a game that we like. I don't know. Kind of interesting to look and digress. Okay, let's get into the USDC conversation. It's now a regulated stablecoin in the EEA. What in the hell does that mean? Okay, so USDC is now MiCA compliant, and that means the European Economic Area. Have you ever heard of that term? Absolutely friggin' not. Circle announced that it had been authorized to issue USDC as MiCA-compliant e-money token, EMT, making USDC the first major regulated stablecoin in the EEA. Guys, stablecoins are the alpha. Whatever happens with stable coins, the liquidity around them, just pay attention. It's going to be a big deal. Coinbase saying congratulations to Circle for the major milestone in achieving compliance for USDC and EURC under the European Markets and Securities Authority's Market in Crypto Assets Regulation, MiCA. We're excited to continue driving stablecoin adoption together with EU digitization. Kind of crazy. Some news about Wolfgame here that, like, you know, you see a headline, you're like, okay, hold on a second. Is this preceding certain events? And the post was from Nova saying this wall will unlock steadily over 4 years. And the question that I want to just pose with this, and let me actually kind of read this first. So from Wolfgame, players, your found wool is ready to be pouched and minted as an NFT on Blast. As with all pouches, this wool will unlock steadily over 4 years. During this period, you may claim any unlocked wool or trade your pouch, including the wool inside, at any time. For those with existing pouches on ETH, you can now bridge them to Blast, keeping your precious wool safe and versatile. Okay, so for anybody that like doesn't know, because again, like I was in a Wolfgame like initially, and I've like watched people play it and get into it. But it's very interesting that they're highlighting the token unlock is going to be over 4 years, because within the crypto space, have you kind of found like anytime you like just sell something or don't own like a bag in it, you're like, yeah, I don't know if I care as much anymore. So in like a weird way, I totally get, oh my goodness, do you really want to lock up something for 4 years? But at the same time, like if you're trying to work on like player retention at some point, you know, maybe that's the route you got to go. Okay, do you guys remember Mr. Kid 8? Massive artist, actually dropped a new collection. If you remember, G-Vols did a couple of other different things, but these ones were kind of one of ones, and I thought, you know, these are actually kind of cool. Now, not everyone's going to be from everyone, but listen, if you're feeling like a pimp, if you're feeling like a Lego guy, if you're feeling like you're wanting to watch The Walking Dead, holy guacamole, some really cool pieces here. And I think that, you know, when you have these collections that aren't necessarily 10,000 out of, and you just have these one-of-ones of like cool artists, but it's like a digital identity, people like having these identities. We got to see more of it. Gods and Goblins, apparently they're hinting at something going on with the ASM brains. AI gaming is going to take off. What is the dealio? If you don't know, basically Gods and Goblins is a game where you have a goblin, you hit the play button, and then you get to watch it automatically fight an arena and then get junk to be able to mint more goblins or apparently accessories down the way. But now they're implementing an AI brain to it. Again, the AI narrative in crypto, as of late, at least within the NFT space, has been kind of quiet. Maybe that'll change. Stripe holds a 21% share of the global payment processing solutions market, making it the world's second most used payment solution. USDC will integrate with Stripe and settle on Base, Coinbase's L2 on Ethereum, the mainstream era of stablecoins made possible by Ethereum. Remember, the alpha is stablecoins. This guy says chicken tenders about to be $150 at TD Garden next season. This is where the Boston Celtics and Boston Bruins play. And the post, initially, the Celtics starters are set to earn up to $1 billion over the next 6 years. Okay, 5 individuals playing some basketball, $1 billion. I got Lakers.root, I got Celtics.root, I got Mavericks.root. Listen, if these people are making that amount of money, those names are going to make me a fortune. Something kind of crazy for you. July 1st, 2024 is 50% complete. Stop for a minute. Stop. Reflect on the past year. Have you done things you've enjoyed? Have you achieved your goals? Are you on the right path? Yeah, we're not getting philosophical. Kind of cool that 50% of the way is cool. You know, not bad. 50% of the way here. Okay, massive confusion here, right? So we have Dookie Dash Unclogged that's coming out, but it's coming through like the Faraway Social. And so somebody asked saying, who owns Dookie Dash? Did this get sold to Faraway? And no, it didn't. That's what Nova said. And Rig says, that's what I thought. Just keep seeing all the updates coming from Faraway. So I'm kind of confused. Don't know if you guys have any ideas with this, but why is Faraway kind of being like the pusher of the announcements of things when Faraway only had some certain collections with Yuga? What the hell is going on? What's cooking? And we got some hints. Well, sorry, an entire gameplay trailer from what's going on with heavy metal that Yuga did sell off to Faraway. $100 million AAA gaming experience. We're going to play that at the end for you. Now, this was news from like a day or two ago, so apologies if you've ever seen it. But at the time, just in the U.S. Marshals Service announces partnership with Coinbase to safeguard trade its large cap digital assets portfolio. So the U.S. Marshals is out here hiring Coinbase while the U.S. government's suing them. Unbelievable. Coinbase lands $32.5 million contract with the U.S. Department of Justice. The U.S. Marshal Service, part of the DOJ, has announced $32.52 million contract with Coinbase to manage and dispose of its large cap digital assets, known as Class 1 cryptocurrencies. Coinbase will provide custody and advanced trading services, streamlining the management and disposal of these assets while adhering to federal policies. This contract supports the USMS's asset forfeiture division in handling and liquidating significant quantities of cryptocurrency efficiently and lawfully. What a friggin' headline. Holy hell. That's actually crazy, but kind of neat that's happening. So some news. If you guys happen to be Pixelball fans, or way back in the day, if you happen to buy one of the Founders DAO. Now, the Founders DAO has an alpha chat. They have the Gen chat. They're doing Battle Plan. They acquired Wolf Game, a whole bunch of different things going on, but they made an announcement specifically for the people that bought the Founders DAO saying, calling all DAO token holders. The token redemption period is now open. Send your DAO tokens to foundersdao.eth or the address by July 15th at 11 p.m. for an equal share of 25 ETH divided by the number of tokens received. So a lot of noise happening about that, and it all kind of depends on how many people end up burning their DAO, or sorry, I should say sending their DAO over to this address. But will be very interesting to see, as it's felt like the timeline's been rather quiet regarding DAOs. If we look back and reflect, there was like different points throughout, like from 2021 up until like now in 2024, where there was all these narratives. And I say this often because I think like it's a huge thing of, hey, if you have this NFT, you can get a token, or if you're associated with the DAO, there's a lot of interest. Companion collections, again, at a point was like kind of the alpha or presumed alpha at the time. So interesting that we're seeing some DAO news in the headlines. Okay, so I totally lied. We're not playing it at the end. We're playing it right now. Faraway saying the Rift opens heavy metal X Shatterline coming. We'll kind of full screen it here and give some quick kind of thoughts on it. Co-op experiences. This looks like a... what's the Apex Legends type of vibe? But we got some swords in it. We got creatures, competitive PvP, whole different kind of aspects, but it is a first-person shooter. Apparently $100 million behind it, working with Shatterline, and I'm not sure if it announces the studio behind it. I think that it looks decent. I'm a little confused where, I mean, so actually right there, let me pause that. Oh my goodness. Pause it. These are one of the eggs that was in Legends of the Mara. It was like for the catalyst. So, okay, there seems to be a bit further of an integration to it. And Frag Lab is it along with Shatterline. And so when we were looking at the game, and I'll just have it kind of play in the background again, is I think it looks pretty solid. I think it's going to do quite well. A lot of people have saying this is the best thing that Yuga's put out, period. I don't know if I have necessarily any hot takes. I would say I was a little surprised that almost every single response and comment to it that I saw, and from my understanding, almost all of them like had, Bored Ape, PFP, etc. They were absolutely in love with this. Like, I didn't see almost any critiques. It seemed like it passed with absolute flying colors. I think that typically things are met with some kind of skepticism, so I was a little surprised from that aspect. But again, when this fully releases, will be interesting to see how it is perceived on the timeline, but very excited to give it a go. To ensure Project Animus, coming from Artifact here, is absolutely perfect. We're giving ourselves a bit more time to polish everything up. Okay, dude. So we got a little bit of a delay here from Artifact. It's weird how there's so many collections, and again, FUD my bag here, including Futureverse, where there's been eggs and other components that haven't really done anything. But there was so many things that launched like a while ago, and I got like pivots happen and whatnot, but coming up to the announcement and then saying, hold on, we need even longer, jeez Louise, baby. With over 20,000 Animus and 40,000 different characters with around 4,000 unique traits. Holy smokes, okay, maybe they need the time. In both 3D and 2D, we're in the final stages of quality check, I'm assuming, to make sure every detail is just right. Also incorporating awesome feedback from Sensei, including a brand new Gen 1 TM Animus. Okay, so just on the thought of like 4,000 unique traits, all right, listen, if we're making the details, if we have all this excited expenditures, okay, listen, maybe we got to take back the FUD just a little bit, because that's actually an insane amount of things. Okay, so Sean Kingston, guys, beautiful girl, call 911, only fire burning on the dance floor. Yeah, Caleb, right? You know what I mean? He says, just got off the phone with my brother Jason Derulo. Okay, dude. I will not be doing any work with Sahil, just focusing on this current launch at the moment, just letting my fans know we're dropping today. Guys, why is every freaking celebrity out there dropping a coin? Unbelievable. Oh, it happens again. Apparently, Sydney Sweeney, her X account got hacked again. Somebody's shilling a meme coin. That's like the second time this year that has happened. G-Funk highlighted this old tweet from Gutter Cat Gang that was kind of funny. And if you guys remember, for whatever reason, one of the Gutter Cat team members, I guess, didn't realize they hadn't switched accounts. And this was like in the precipice of like the Gutter Cat Gang FUD. And they tweeted, Manchester United's worst Champions League campaign ever ends with a 1-0 loss to Bayern Munich at Old Trafford today. They conceded 15 goals in their 6 group play matches, which is the new and unwanted score record for an EPL team, as Eric Ten Hag lost the locker room. And this is coming from Gutter Cat Gang. Listen, if your favorite NFT collection starts chatting about something completely different, what in the alibit are you supposed to do? Orangey here highlighting his portfolio allocation, which I thought was kind of interesting. If you want to pause the video for a second and take a look, maybe compare it to yours. Very, very heavy on the top side, just on Solana. Don't have any extra comments. Just, partially I find it like a little weird when people are like, hey, here's what my portfolio looks like. You know what I mean? But I mean, when you look at I guess it doesn't say like the exact amount, right? So it's not necessarily leaking all the info, but 67 of his portfolio, 67% is in Solana. NBA 2K League, if you guys know the video game, the CEO for the esports held a meeting firing everybody and logged off. That's insane. We've talked a lot about esports kind of struggling in a way. There's the esports World Cup right now happening in Riyadh. A lot of conversations about kind of the Saudi Arabia taking over a lot of the esports. I mean, we'll kind of wait and see what happens with that NBA 2K League. Not something I watch, but again, I mean, I'm pretty sure they literally had like an in-person draft the other day for players. I don't think it was that significant, but again, it sucks that we might have some problems continuing in the esports world. 1 year ago, they said Ether was the next BAYC. Quoting the tweet, I don't think you're hyped up enough, Anon. This isn't like the other projects at all. Here's why Ether is poised to be the next BAYC. Got all the way up to 100,000 followers. Just says loading, and it says under construction. Please be patient, and that's it. So it says Q2 in here, but the account was created in January 22. I mean, what are we doing here? Is this going to have some massive launch where everybody's excited, or is it just Jover? You know what I mean? All right, this is kind of crazy. True. Breaking pump.fun. One of the protocols on Solana to create these meme coins flips Ethereum in 24-hour revenue. So when we look at these chains and the volume they're getting, especially in kind of a not super exciting market. Very interesting that Pump has $2 million worth of revenue in 24 hours. Ethereum, 1.91 million. Tron, 1.58 million. Solana at 806,000. And then Uniswap Labs at 305,000. Some rather significant movement. And the other component of it is if you think the tokens are going to go higher than what they are, I mean, these numbers, because it's all based off like USD value of those tokens, I mean, holy smokes. These could go like a lot higher, and that revenue would be flying. Talking about video games a lot, continuing the trend, video game subscription revenue has reportedly barely increased over the last few years, highlighting EA Play, Xbox Game Pass. Again, these are just gaming subscription models where you like pay 10, 15 bucks a month and you get like a library of games. Hasn't increased at all. Are people not playing games? Are they just not liking the games that are coming out? Is it the ones that are dead there? I don't know. This was the craziest tweet ever, so I had to bring it up. Medium rare cookies are the best cookies. Have you ever classified the way that you cook a cookie as medium rare cooked? I don't think so. Unbelievable. Gaming old coins I bought large bags of in the bear market, but I'm selling. Okay, this person's fudding bags. Holy smokes. Now, I'm not uber familiar, but I'll just give like kind of like, I guess, like a quick 10-second take on the ones that I do know. So Atlas, which is the one for Star Atlas, right? He's selling because the community is too egotistical. I mean, I don't think so, right? Like, I mean, you go on the timeline, people are wanting to play like a city space builder type game that's got all the MMO type aspects. Kind of is what it is. Maybe I got to dive into that a little bit more. For Gala Games, slow with deliverables. I mean, they did fire their main game creator studio that they hired for that. So like, okay, generally kind of agree, though. They are rather slow and the games haven't been great. Shrapnel here. AVAX ecosystem is dead. To be totally honest, I didn't even know Shrapnel was on AVAX. Yo, Jay Louie, 2K, what's going on? Bro, you own that Bored Ape? That is epic. Yes, sir. Thank you. I appreciate that. Good to see you. I hope you're doing all right. You know what I mean? Nick Tamino here saying, allowing everyone in the world to invest and own is the big crypto unlock. So I do a podcast called RWA Segments, and it's in the description below or on the X profile. And I interview people that are doing things within the real world asset ecosystem. And I had a conversation that I recorded today that's going to be coming out next week. And that was kind of like my narrative. And so I saw this tweet and I was like, damn, like, I fully agree with this. We have an aspect of people that had no idea that they could invest or do anything, right? Like you see these commercials, right? Like for a perspective, okay, you're watching the Raptors game on a Saturday night. What are you getting? Well, you're getting fed ads about buying cars that you're never going to get, and then gambling, different sites, and then your DoorDash. Oh, we love DoorDash. You know what I mean? We friggin' love DoorDash. But now what I've noticed is when I'm on like Twitch or somewhere else, and I haven't actually noticed this like within like the last couple of weeks, but there was a point, I want to say maybe 3-4 months ago, where every single ad was like a Wealth Simple, TD Bank, you name it. Hey, figure out your investment portfolio, et cetera, et cetera. But you don't really like learn that, right? Like if you're not in a family that's like, hey, you got to go over these things or around the settings, or, you know, you might not even just have the capital, right? Because again, you probably have to work a fair amount to be able to have money to invest in today's world. But I fully agree with the whole aspect of like crypto being the big unlock for just investing in general. And I mean, I want to clarify as well with like talking about the RWAs. It's just the tokenization of the real world assets for things that people are looking at for these different NFTs. I mean, people use the term like investment all the time, which, you know, is like kind of 50-50 about certain things. And half of it's supposed to be just the aspect that you're collecting it because you love it. Like when people go out and they buy, you know, a pack of Pokemon cards. I saved the tweet. I didn't bring it up, but it was somebody that like cracked a pack and they had one card that was worth anything and it was like $4, but they spent $50 on the box. And you're like, all right, well, is that like investing? Are you collecting? Like the barriers are being broken and everything's getting explored and it's fantastic. The experts in Silicon Valley and on Wall Street won't say this because they want you to believe the lie that you need some pedigree to be a good investor. Noobs following key opinion leaders and losing 99% after aping into meme coin supports that, but it's not the full picture. There's a ton of people outside Silicon Valley and New York City who have crushed prestige VCs and hedge funds in performance in crypto over the past 10 years. You would be truly amazed by the lack of original thinking by the quote-unquote experts. I get alpha by talking to random people on the internet, not NPCs in the echo chambers. The internet helps everyone learn and crypto helps everyone invest. In the next decade, the outperformance by the people outside the echo chambers will only accelerate. There's your bullish take of the day. Borpa token. All right, let's go from bullish to oh my goodness. So this is a meme coin. They say the situation is rough and we need to move forward. I appreciate the full support of the community in this endeavor, and now I want to give you clarity and guidance. And then they basically talk about this entangled person. They have problems. Listen, guys, come on. It's 2024. How are we having team problems? What are we doing? Suddenly, everyone is posting the bearish charts, but remember who did this 2 days ago when everyone was talking about new all-time highs? Why every freaking week we flip-flop? Guys, we're going to make it. It's over. Every time, every week, every day, something different is going on. And it's hilarious. Now, with that said, it is kind of Jover. To be totally honest, look at the market. Holy smokes, we're at 48% in the neutral and the fear and greed index. But looking at the 24 hours here, Bitcoin down 2.42%, Ethereum 3.06%. If we want to get crazy with it, Ethereum name service is down 12.69%. But again, what did we talk about yesterday? The token unlocks that were happening soon. What was one of those big token unlocks? Ethereum name service. We had the alpha before. Hell yeah. We proudly announced the acquisition of Wallet Guard by Consensus. Wait, didn't we just talk about Consensus getting sued? Now they're picking up Wallet Guard, which I actually have an interview that I did way back in the day with them. I quote tweeted it, but if you want to check out the page, you're going to have to scroll for quite a while, but we did do an interview and it was really cool. The new addition to our family strengthens Metamask commitment to user protection, building on recent security feature integrations to safeguard against hacks and scams. So for anybody that doesn't know, Wallet Guard is basically like a browser extension that will source the transaction that you're signing and be like, yo, this is kind of suspicious, or you can sign this, no problem. So very, very massive acquisition there for Consensus / Metamask. Dear Mochaverse, suck my ass. What are we saying here? Okay, so this is coming from Jerry, who's a huge BAYC advocate, ApeCoin advocate, etc., etc. Now, if you're not familiar, there has been a lot of proposals that have happened where, in theory, I could go out there if I was a way better writer and be like, hey, for everyone that is in ApeCoin, I'm submitting a proposal where I want you to give me 5,000 Ape, which is like basically $5,000 because it's around $1 right now, and I will do content surrounding the Bored Ape ecosystem. Now, the Bored Ape Gazette, the magazine news source, that's actually what they did when that first came out. However, there's a lot of other individuals that are trying to do things, not necessarily from the creating content, but, you know, business ideas, building something on chain, et cetera, et cetera. And this goes to the DAO vote, and these people that own ApeCoin get to vote on it. And so the more ApeCoin you have, the bigger you vote, And so for like Animoca brands, and I guess Mochaverse specifically, they have a ton of ApeCoin, and so they can massively sway these votes. And so I think one of the proposals Jerry had or was associated with got rejected, and it's been a huge problem. And one of the biggest critiques and problems with the whole ApeCoin thing is it's just very easily manipulated. Now, yesterday, in case you missed it, Aaron McDonald, co-founder of Futureverse and on the board for CoolCats, has been in the CoolCats Discord chatting and dropped this teaser. See below for a recording of Klon, Shara, and Aaron addressing the CoolCats community. So this is kind of just the quality might not be great because it's kind of on my phone for this, but it looks like it's showing kind of the world that's going to be created with Futureverse and the tools that they have, I suppose. As you can see, it's like a cool cat kind of running over there to a portal. We'll imagine the fully fleshed out thing is going to be looking way more different, way more vibrant, etc., etc. But if you haven't seen, there was a huge call that happened where as we've mentioned on stream, a large amount of the CoolCats team got let go, and so this was the first addressal that Klon had for the community, and Aaron Shara joined him. That's on the YouTube channel. If you're on there, just go over to the videos. We posted 2 of them yesterday, and it was just kind of the breakdown of that, and yeah, if anybody's got any questions about that, happy to answer. However, some other potentially unfortunate news. I guess yesterday it was mentioned that the CoolCats are not going to ComicCon. Now, if my memory serves me right, I thought that they absolutely killed it at ComicCon. The videos were insane. The vibes were nuts. They were selling out of merch left, right, and center. So totally get that other things happen, but am genuinely quite surprised that they decided not to go back. And again, they could be charging a hell of a lot and it might not be worth it, but it seemed last year that it was great. The Root Punks Mint, what I'm rocking here is my PFP on X, ended up selling out, ended up getting one of the cool cat looking ones, and these ones are some Buzzies. Had a couple other ones too, but again, $20 mints worth of Root for them. Kind of crazy to think when we were spending hundreds of dollars on different ones. This is kind of a community-led thing. Not everybody's vibe, but very cool to see the inexpensive side of NFTs and just collecting for the sake of liking it is back. Now, some other Futureverse news here is Chibi Clash announced, well, sorry, I shouldn't just say Futureverse because we got Infinity Gods, Pixelmon in here, Apemon, Cityverse Tycoon, and a whole bunch of other logos that I'm not super familiar with, but they announced, pledge your allegiance. The Kingdoms Alliance event begins. Represent one of the 22 alliances and claim a victory against your enemies. 5,000 Clash token and prize pool, and the yeah, it's just basically an opportunity for other communities to be able to come in and play a game. So the question, I guess, that we'll leave you with here, is that the future of what all this Web3 gaming, the metaverse, the interoperability is? Just, hey, take your community, come play our game, and we'll give out free tokens. Or is it going to be something more than that? Is there going to be something where people are going to want to go and try things just for free? Because personally, that was my first time ever hearing about Chibi Clash. Now, I've heard some people say that it's a really good game, et cetera, but this is the first time that I've heard of it. So what does it look like for the gaming landscape? Geo, RDL, J. Louie, appreciate you guys coming through in the chat. Everybody that's watching afterwards, I would love it if you guys give me a like and a share. Appreciate the hell out of you. See you tomorrow.